Happy Tuesday! It's time for Stories with Sarah Lizabeth. Today we're just gonna spend 15 minutes together and we're just gonna nap. We're just gonna nap today. I got my Dr. Pepper, because I'm a Dr. Pepper girl, and I'm tired. It was a fun weekend. I had a bridal shower on Friday and it was beautiful and wonderful, and then Saturday, one of my sales rep for the rental company that I work with often got married this weekend. So I got to be a part of her big day, and I got to do the flowers and the decor. So I went earlier and set that up on Saturday, and then I got to actually watch a colleague of ours plan the wedding and coordinate the wedding, which was awesome because she did an amazing job, obviously. But I got to kind of just enjoy the wedding and experience it as a guest would experience the wedding. So that was super fun. I probably had too much fun, I'm not gonna lie, but it was a good time. And then, you know, we tore down late night after the wedding, and then I just had a busy personal day yesterday. So it was a busy weekend. And you know, if y'all have followed the last couple weeks, I have shared with you some personal stories. And I mean, today I'm getting back to talking about y'all, because you know, it's just exhausting to talk about yourself so much. It's difficult. So I'm changing it up and I'm getting back to talking about y'all. Those of you that attend weddings and have provided me such great entertainment through the years. You know those places that, you know, you go to and you look up at the wall and there's all these pictures of these people eating like a massive amount of food, and you know, they get sick. They just, you know, it's like, why'd you do that? Just to get up on that wall? Like, crazy. So, when you receive a nickname at Regalo Design, that is like getting up on that wall, y'all. So we have, you know, we have Crazy Uncle. We have Drunk Guy. He was a special one. We have Bat Poo Crazy Mama. She's cool. We have the Sad Sister. Oh, that was a heartbreaking one. And appropriately, I'm wearing green so that I can tell y'all about Green Dress Girl and what she did at one of my clients' weddings. It's a good one. Hope you enjoy it. I absolutely adore my clients for this story. They have been such a close friend to me through the years. And you know, their wedding was years and years ago, but you know, I've watched them bring 2 babies into the world. They're always checking up on me, sending me messages. They will go shopping and send me a photo of something that they found at the store that they think I might like, and send it to me. And I mean, they're just good people. And so I was very close with the bride. And so we kind of had, you know, moments throughout the day where, you know, there's certain moments that present themselves during the day where I can talk with the client and just kind of give a, you know, or we'll see something, or, you know, we'll just have a little snicker, not a Snickers bar, but a little laugh, a little funny haha moment. And, you know, so I didn't see Green Dress Girl, you know, I didn't see her until, we had some things going on in the morning with the client's dad, who was really ill. And so I wasn't really paying all that much attention to all the guests that were there, you know, specifically. You know, I don't really get to experience the guests until they are in it to win it. And it's towards the end of the night, you know, when I get some time to breathe and just kind of look around and see everybody. So, you know, I really didn't quite notice her until we got to the reception. The church, you know, the ceremony happened at a church, and then we moved on to the reception. And there was only, you know, one way up through the elevator, and it was a small elevator to get up to where the reception was being held. And that was the first time that I noticed her, and I was like, wow, that girl, she is in it. And you know, good for her. At that time it was you know, appropriately tipsy. And so I was just like, okay, cool, you know, she's having a good time, you know, and everything. But I definitely did notice her. She stood out for sure. She was one of those kind of people that, you know, she had a presence about her. So I definitely noticed her. And so we were kind of, you know, going on with the activities of the reception. This was cocktail hour at the time, and I was like thinking, maybe she did not show up. Like, you know, cocktail hour is not her first drink. It was not her first rodeo that day, and so she showed up ready to roll. So cocktail hour was fun, and it was good to watch. I was getting the bridal party lined up to come into the reception, and they were in this kind of separate sort of area. It was where the bar was and everything. So they were in that area kind of lined up, and I was at the entrance of that going into the reception hall. And green dress girl was just hanging out right next to me. Like, she would not leave me. And, you know, let me give you a little tidbit of information. If you are attending a wedding where you feel like you are the bride or groom's best friend and that you should be in the bridal party, but you're not in the bridal party, don't be a creeper. Don't stand there and you know, creep on the bridal party. I mean, this gal, she hung out with the bridal party like the whole time, and you know that she really was kind of sad that she wasn't in the bridal party. And it's kind of like attending an ex's, you know, wedding. This is never a good idea, people. Like, what good is gonna come from that? Because, you know, we are humans and we have feelings, and we are taken back to a time where we were in love with someone, and now we get to watch them, you know, marry someone else. It is torture. Don't do that to yourself. No matter how, if it worked out or if it didn't work out. So obviously it didn't work out, but hey, there's a reason. So don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. But this girl, I think she was feeling pretty sad. And so we were doing the introductions, and I kind of expected her to be like, when are they gonna introduce me? And so at this point, she had turned it up. I mean, I could tell she was being really loud and obnoxious and screaming and yelling and all this stuff. And I was looking at the bride and looking at green dress girl, and I was like, and the bride was just like shaking her head like, oh Lord. So I knew she was gonna be some entertainment for the night. And so I was a little excited about that. And so I got the whole, you know, bridal party in, bride and groom come in. And don't you know, she like walked in, so bride and groom comes in, and she was like behind them. Usually I'm sort of behind them. I mean, I avoid the cameras and the videographers. I avoid them all day long. So I'm doing this dance with them all day to not be in a shot. And so as I'm sort of following them in, green dress girl is just right back there like, hey, it's green dress girl, I'm here. So she walked herself all the way up to the front and sat, you know, the bridal party was kind of in a semicircle on the dance floor, and there were 2 tables reserved for them, and she sat right next to them at this table right up front. So I got to watch her in all her glory all night long. We got to the point in the evening where Dad was gonna give his speech. Now, Dad was very, very ill, and all day, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But, you know, so we were very concerned with Dad. And so we kind of pushed his speech up a little bit just to make sure that, you know, he was well enough to give a speech. So we get him up there, and the bride and groom are actually sitting, and I'm sort of close to Dad. So I hand him over the microphone, he gives his speech, I'm kind of at the back wall, just kind of, you know, hanging out, making sure that he's okay. And I see, you know, bride and groom, I can kind of look at them, and next to them is green dress girl at the next table. Now, people knew about Dad, and, you know, he was very ill. And so, you know, this was a very emotional speech, and, you know, it was a special time for the bride and groom. But green dress girl, she needed a moment too. She needed to let people know she was still there. And so she I see her, y'all, and she's sitting, we're all sitting at this point, and I'm watching someone sit in a chair. And all of a sudden, I don't even know how it happened. She falls out of the chair. And I don't know if she just had to do a quick dress move, like a fix of her dress or change up something real fast, but her brain was not fast enough. So it did not work. And so Green Dress Girl falls out on the floor in the middle of this emotional speech from Dad. There's Green Dress Girl on the floor. And I look at the bride, and she looks at me, and we both were like, oh, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. Yes, she did. She just flat fell out of her chair in the middle of this speech. And, she kind of got up, and it's like she instantly became sober. It was that was a rock bottom moment for her. She's laying on the floor. Dad giving an emotional speech. Bride, planner, looking at me. Everyone's looking at me because I'm up front. This is not good, y'all. So she got an insta sober. I don't know how she did it, but she pops up and she sits up, and I'm kind of watching her, and she's just sort of she's in her own really sad place, just kind of rocking back and forth. And I was just waiting to catch her again, just waiting on I watched somebody sit in a chair and was completely sitting. There was no wobbly legs, there was nothing. She was sitting, and all of a sudden she was not sitting anymore, and she was on the ground. So I wasn't sure what was gonna happen next, but she, the people that were at her table, I think she probably had a parent of some kind at the table, because I remember there being someone just kind of giving her the stink eye, the eye shame on you kind of eye. And so she was in a minute just trying to focus on what just happened. And it was one of those moments where I can guarantee you if she had a superpower, it would be a rewind button where she could strap herself into the chair and not fall out during a very emotional speech. So, after that kind of stuff happens, you have a choice. You can either keep going, and just really kill it that night, or you can slow it down, slow the roll. And she made the choice to kill it. She was in it. So all night long, she provided us with so much entertainment. And at the end of the night, she ended up having to be carried out, which was a great experience. And it was sloppy. So, but she is and will always be Green Dress Girl. I told y'all earlier that I attended a wedding this weekend, which is so rare for me. I can't even remember the last wedding I attended prior to this weekend. So I understand how easy it is to, enjoy the party. I mean, you've got, free alcohol, and, there's people there that you don't really, you see, but you don't, some of them are really close friends. Some of them are people that you work with, and so it's easy to get a little carried away. And, but I do have some advice for you. First, wear something that blends in. Don't wear green, Kelly green, and be, wear, something that somebody could see you. Wear some muted, tones, or maybe black. Black is always good. You can hide in a corner if you find yourself in a situation. Another bit of information is don't creep on the bridal party. Don't do anything really that's gonna make you get noticed. If you're gonna go in it to win it, don't get noticed. That's the secret. Don't get noticed. Get it together before you attend a wedding, especially if it's a wedding that you are somehow, thinking that all your emotions are gonna be left out, you know, on the dance floor. This is not the time. This is not therapy. Someone else's wedding is not a therapy session. There are people that are really good at therapy, and you can go talk to them. But somebody's wedding is not the time to start being sad and using alcohol as a way to make you kind of feel better, because all it does, it makes you feel sad, worse, way worse than you did when you were going into the event. So don't ever go if you feel like it's gonna be some sort of emotional, you know, intervention. It is not. It is just a bad mix. It's like real bad. So don't do that. And you know, all of the drunk people that I've gotten to experience, everyone has just like abandoned them, left them. Like they just leave them at the party, and leave our staff and the people that are working to like literally clean up their messes and sort of kind of figure out what to do with them. It's like, so get a buddy. Get a buddy. If you are gonna go to a wedding, you take a buddy. And you talk with your buddy before you go, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna turn it up tonight. And that buddy says, all right, I got your back. So, you know, have a buddy system, and make sure that your buddy isn't going crazy either, because then, you know, it's the blind leading the blind at that point. So, and then that's how you end up with me trying to figure out how to get you home. And it's crazy. So, anyways, just a few pointers for you to make sure that, you know, if you're gonna choose to make someone else's wedding your day, then maybe those little tips will help you. I always wondered what happened to Green Dress Girl. You know, we sent her off at the end of the night. We were hopeful that, you know, she made it home and everything was okay. And don't you know, 2 weeks later, she was in one of our Regalo Design weddings in the bridal party. I was like, Green Dress Girl, what are you doing here? And, you know, she's like, I'm in the bridal party, you know, and all this stuff. And I was like, well, good for you. So that night she was Blue Dress Girl, because she, but no, actually that night she was way more tame. But yeah, she turned it up that night too. But yeah, so I was like, what are the odds that you're in a bridal party at a wedding 2 weeks later? So way to go, you made the bridal party, you know, that was awesome. So anyways, I wish her the best. And, you know, I appreciate the entertainment. It's somewhat sad, but I appreciate the entertainment. And it's so fun to talk with y'all again about weddings, and I can't wait till next week. You know, I asked my 6-year-old this week, I said, what should I tell them about this week? And, you know, she pulled out a couple weddings that I forgot, you know, when I get home, and it's amazing how much they absorb, because she was telling me things that I had completely forgot about, you know, years ago. You know, I mean, weddings that were at least 2 or 3 years ago that she remembered me talking about. So she gave me some good material for next week that I look forward to talking with y'all about. And as always, I hope that y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And until then, we'll see you next Tuesday.